player Aaron Williams. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. Thank you.
Doing good.
Super excited to get talking with you. What's this transition been like for you? First of all, it's your first year at a new program, same conference, but we're moving programs. What's the transition been like?
Well, certainly unique. Lately it's been an entirely new roster that we've had on the court, for practice. 13 brand new players, two of which that I've coached in the past at UIW, but so obviously a lot of new faces. Only 4 that have actually played Division I basketball. So certainly there's going to be, understandably a very steep learning curve, but we have certainly come a long ways since we first got together, I guess late June to where we are now. So it's been a lot of fun, but obviously a work in progress, as you would expect.
Coach, there's still a winning standard, though, I feel like, when it comes to this program. So what are the expectations for this year? A lot of new faces trying to blend everything together, but how do you envision this team looking this year?
Well, again, it's so early. We've yet to play a regular season game or a conference game, so maybe a little bit premature to make any kind of prediction or anything like that. But but you're right. There is certainly a high standard that has taken place over here in the past, even for myself and what we were able to accomplish over the course of my tenure at UIW. Certainly accustomed to winning and being a factor in the conference race and in the conference tournament. So, hopefully we position ourselves. The one thing that we've talked about, we haven't really got too far ahead of ourselves in terms of projections and that type of thing. But, certainly I've lived it firsthand in the Southland Conference. Number one thing is get to the tournament. If you can qualify for the tournament, as it's been shown over the years in this league, anything can happen over the course of those 3 or 4 days. So, hopefully we're playing our best basketball late into February, into March, and we give ourselves a chance to play in the tournament.
Aaron, we've talked about your coach's transition, but what's the transition been like for you? What made you want to come here?
Originally, when I first spoke to Coach Dow, he was giving me an opportunity to not only extend my athletic career, but my academic as well. So the transition for me has been kind of, I would say it's been a little easier, especially like with the coaching staff being as supportive as they are. They've made the transition really easy for me.
You just mentioned academic and athletic. Talk about being a student athlete. What's it like to balance both? You're doing schoolwork. You're working, every day also on basketball court. So what's that like for you on a day-to-day basis?
I would say that it's kind of something that I'm accustomed to now. With this being my 5th year, I've been able to balance both pretty easily. And this year, this being my first year as a grad, I'm all online, so it makes it a little bit easier for me.
That's always nice. I'm jealous of that. I'm in my last semester of college. I wish I was all online. I'm very jealous of you. But Jeff, I was looking at your schedule the other day, and oh my goodness, you go top to bottom through that conference schedule. Like there's not really a day off. Like you look, it's LSU, Arkansas, Baylor, Memphis, Texas. Like it's a mouthful to read all of the phenomenal games you have. How much do you feel like that'll help you to be battle tested early on when you head into?
Yeah, it is certainly an ambitious schedule. You're right about that. But I think 3 of those in LSU, Baylor, and your University of Texas, I think are, viable Final Four candidates for sure.
Yeah.
Then you throw in Arkansas and then a couple high mid majors in Southern Miss and Memphis. But, the one thing that we definitely have in terms of the non-conference schedule, different styles of play that we're going to be going up against. Obviously, those are going to be very competitive programs, but just in terms of what they do offensively, defensively, a variety of different looks that we'll get, certainly I think should prepare us for anything we would see in conference. But unique, I'm sure you've had some of the other coaches mention this, when you're playing 22 conference games, that is already kind of unique as it is, of course, playing everybody twice. But and certainly to play a conference game as early as November 22nd is a little unusual. But those games you just mentioned, they'll get us ready. It's kind of similar to us practicing against our guys. We have 10 male practice players, and so they're certainly, every day in terms of how competitive they are, and their athleticism and length is preparing us for that type of a schedule.
Yeah, you mentioned the 22-game conference schedule, which is super unique. What do you see as the advantages and the challenges of playing a 22-game conference schedule and starting that early on?
Well, I think, to be realistic, or I should say to be fair for everybody, everybody plays everybody twice, so in terms of, there's 8 teams that qualify and 4, of course, that don't. So the schedule is not going to be skewed by maybe who you played twice or who you played once. Now, at the same time, you never know. Of course, you could say this any year, but when did you play somebody? Were you at full strength? Were they at full strength? But again, we're all kind of in the same boat, and we're playing a number of games before Christmas in conference again, which is kind of unique. But once you get into the flow of it after Christmas and everybody's playing twice a week, then I think it's a very fair and equitable system, you might say.
Aaron, before we get into conference play, going back and talking about that non-conference schedule, what excites you about these opportunities to play some really big time opponents?
Everything. I've never played in any of those arenas. So just to have the opportunity to go in there and compete with some of the top talents in women's college basketball today, that alone excites me.
Yeah, and Jeff, like you said, that's a lot of your team who hasn't played at this Division I level before, who has not played in, a Texas arena before. How cool is that for you as a coach to be able to take them there and give them those environments?
It is. Obviously, it's a big part of our recruiting, spiel, if you will, that they're going to have the opportunity to play those types of opponents and in those kind of arenas, as Aaron alluded to. For some of our players, they're going to have a chance to go back to the state of Texas where they're from. So that's unique. Obviously, being 45 minutes from Baton Rouge and LSU, and of course, understandably, LSU is a pretty big deal around here. To have an opportunity to play them, and of course, with the tradition that they have and everything that Coach Mulkey has accomplished, it's a great opportunity to test yourself, against the very best. And many years ago, I was a Division II head coach. I had the opportunity to play UConn twice, in 3 years. Brianna Stewart, their first ever college basketball game, and a couple of years before that, going up against Maya Moore. So, certainly the message is going to be to just, relish the opportunity, enjoy it. At the same time, expect, the best out of yourself, compete to a high standard, regardless of who we're playing.
Coach, you also have a couple international players on your roster. Talk about that recruiting process and what they bring to this team.
We do. Lihi Azuri is a freshman from Israel, unique in that she's a 21-year-old freshman, but that's what the rules are in terms of the NCAA, and kind of a long story in terms of how she ended up here. Her boyfriend is a freshman for the LSU men's basketball team, Ron Zipper. So one thing led to another, and Lihi has played professionally for 4 years overseas, obviously a lot of international experience, so not the typical freshman, you might say, but is somebody we're going to be leaning on heavily. Obviously, she can score it, she can shoot from three, she can play the point, she can play the two. So I'm certainly excited to see what she's going to accomplish. One of her roommates, as it turns out, Aisha Martin from Australia, by way of Ranger Junior College in Texas, but still from Australia. So, need to have that international flair and just the personality that they bring to the team and different culture and that type of thing as well. So they've certainly been a lot of fun.
Yeah, there are a lot of great Israeli players right now in women's college basketball. It's so much. They're all over the place. I love it. They're some of my favorite players to watch. So I'm excited to see what she adds to this team as well. But Aaron, for people who haven't,
we open a pipeline from Israel to Hammond, America, perhaps. So we'll see.
I love it. Aaron, for people who haven't gotten the chance to watch you play yet, what can they expect from you? What are you looking to show off this year, and what are we going to see when we see you on the court?
I think my role is kind of simple. Be a dog on defense. Get up into the opponents, make them uncomfortable, cause havoc, and try to get steals on the get on the old glass. I can jump a little bit, even though I'm a little short, but I can get up there with some of the tallest. And just to get D boards and just be a hustle player, just to be everywhere and do everything, the little things that other players or other opponents may not like to do.
Coach, how do you see Aaron set that defensive intensity every single day in practice?
Yeah, and that's going to be a role that is going to be important for Aaron. I think a lot of times she's going to be guarding the other team's best perimeter player, again, with the tenacious and the athletic ability and how hard she defends and plays hard. She left a couple of things out that she brings to the table. She's a really good cutter, in our motion offense. She finds a way that that even, despite her lack of height, she still finds a way to finish shots around the rim. She comes up with O boards, as she mentioned. Again, give us energy, be a spark plug, but definitely somebody that we envision, like I said, guarding the other team, best perimeter player, and hopefully slowing them down in the process.
I think he just called you short, Aaron. No, I'm kidding. Lack of height is a very nice way to put that. I like it. Obviously, what'd you say there?
I think we're the same height if you ask.
Although she has heels on today, so she's got me by an inch or two, I think. So
didn't take.
Yeah, today's the day where we want to have you stand up and do the height test. We'll make her feel good about it today. I love it. As you said kind of at the beginning of our conversation, this is obviously a very new team. A lot of people coming in via the transfer portal. You got a few freshmen. We don't know a ton about you yet. So give us kind of like a brief rundown about how you want this group to play, what you like about all the newcomers that you have coming in.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to be, again, I don't mean to cliche, and I probably said it earlier, a work in progress for a while, which is to be expected. We haven't been around each other that long. As I said, we have, 4 players that have ever played in Division I basketball game. We're always trying to forge our identity on the defensive end. We had an encouraging performance the other day. Of course, we're not allowed to, publicize a Division I scrimmage, but held a team on the road to 51 points in a game that we won by 15. So that was certainly a good sign, but we're going to be smaller than maybe most, and a lot of teams that I've coached for over the years that it could be 4 guards and a small forward. We've got some small forwards that are essentially playing the 4 and the 5 for us, but we can't really think about what we don't have. We got to think about what we do have, and we're probably going to be spreading the floor, maybe shooting more threes, and then certainly even my course of my career than I'm accustomed to. And I probably have to loosen the reins a little bit and kind of let them go. But, but that's all right. There's different ways to win and hopefully play up tempo, in the process as well too. But excited. Like I said, I think, I won't speak for Aaron. I think we're eager to just start playing other people, instead of playing against each other or quite frankly, even our guys, in practice. We want to start playing against opponents and kind of see where we're at. But again, excited with the improvement that we've made, certainly in the last 2 or 3 weeks for sure.
Aaron, coach is kind of talking about the identity that he sees this team being this year, but what's the personality like of this team off the floor? Is it a bunch of laid back players? Are you guys pranksters? Do you like to have fun? Are you, all hanging out together playing games? I mean, what's the vibes like between this group off the floor?
I think it's kind of a variety of everything. I mean, when I first got here, it took me a little minute to kind of start, coming around, and they used to have game nights, and I used to come and then I would leave. But now I'm to the point where like I don't mind being with my teammates and chilling and playing card games, because we play a lot of card games, watching movies, and just kind of getting to know each other a little bit more. But I feel like the personality of us all, like as a group, I think we're goofy. We like to have fun. We go out to eat together and just enjoy each other's company. So it's been a joy to get to know my teammates thus far.
Who's the champion of the card games?
I would like to say myself, but I don't always win. I think Taylor Wilkins comes out on top quite often, which is annoying because she lets everybody know every time. But yeah, I would probably say me and Taylor Wilkins.
Yeah. Good. Well, maybe that
we play Phase 10. I just taught them how to play trash. We played speed. What's another? Uno, of course. And there's been some other little stuff like we played spoons before, and then Taylor Ross, she also just bought a new card game. I can't remember. It's like Moose or something. It's called something like that. But it was a fun card game that we all played together.
I love it. I love the variety. Excited to see how the card competitiveness translates to the court. And it was great talking to you guys. Really looking forward to watching you this year.
Appreciate it. Thank you.